There are three stages when it comes to getting your money right. Hey guys, this is Andy with Mindset Matters More, and have another little help tidbit for you guys about the three stages of your financial place in life. And each one of these requires a different mindset, skill, and strategy. So it's not just about what you do with your money, but how you think about it, what you believe, and who you're becoming in the process. And really, it's about who you are. Okay? So let's go into stage one. In stage one, not everybody's going to be in this stage, but I call it stage one because I always look at these things like in a linear fashion. So to me, all the way on the left side is crisis mode, and that's survival and stabilization, right? This is where you're in the thick of it. Bills are overdue, food is scarce, you might be working multiple jobs to make ends meet. This stage isn't about building wealth, it's about staying afloat and staying stable. So something that you should consider in terms of changing your mindset is that, I am not my circumstances. I am capable of digging myself out. At this point, you're going to need radical self responsibility and not blame to pull you out of this. The goal is to focus your energy on what you can control and not spiral in shame over what you can't. If you're sitting there thinking, oh my God, I'm such a piece of shit, like, look, I did this again, I can't believe I did this again, is because you haven't shifted to this capable person that can dig themselves out. Now, I've talked about before that, like, if you are in crisis mode, you should be working two, three, four, five jobs. I mean, maybe not five jobs, but you get the point. Like, you should not be thinking about, I'm going to go out with friends, I'm going to travel, I'm going to do this. Like, if they're shutting your fucking light bill off, fucking get a job. If you have the opportunity to be sitting on your phone, fucking, you should be driving an Uber, driving fucking a Lyft, doing something to make more money so that you can pull yourself out of this crisis mode. Crisis mode will kill your fucking nervous system because you're always in this heightened holy fuck scenario, right? So some of the things that you can develop while you are in this mode is looking for jobs and how to look for jobs, interviewing, negotiating better pay at your jobs, time management, if you got a fucking problem with that, or basic financial literacy, understanding your bills, due dates, income flow, even how to write a resume could come in hand so that you can start applying to jobs that maybe pay better. Some of the inner work that you should be doing with this is building self-worth, independent of your bank balance. You are not defined by the number that's in your bank. And creating small rituals to care, to remind yourself that you matter, um, like basically showing yourself that you love yourself. So yeah, okay, maybe you have to make a humble meal, but even still saying thank you for making this humble meal, being grateful for the little things, being grateful that you still have a place to live, being grateful that you still have a car, being grateful that you have the clothes on your back, you know, and then shifting from survival based thinking to possibility based thinking, even if it's in small doses. So you have two jobs and you're thinking, maybe I could get a third job. And if I had that third job, then maybe I could start saving money so that I can get back on my bills. Maybe I could start saving money so that I can have a little bit of a nest egg, like a little emergency fund. Like, start shifting the way that you think, even if it's in small, tiny increments, but always coming at it with an approach of can do, right? Your job here is to get to the next stage, not by grinding forever, but by being smart and using momentum to start to create some breathing room, okay? So, stage two, this is the stability but struggle, from barely managing to financial awareness. So now you're not really drowning, but you're not really secure either. You may be living check to check. Savings feels inconsistent. Investing feels either out of reach, like a luxury. You're just functioning, but constantly stressed out, right? Because you're just like, I know I'm going to make the money, but my bank account is zero. I pay my bills, but I don't really have money to go out. Some of the mindset shift that you have to have is, I deserve to feel safe with money. I'm allowed to plan beyond the next bill. And you start shifting from just enough to what's next, moving from reactive to being intentional. So some of the outer skills that you should be developing is budgeting with compassion. And this one isn't necessarily like a constrictive process. What I'm meaning by making a budget is taking a snapshot of where is your money actually going, understanding what it is about your money that's actually happening. Where is it going? And you should have been doing this in, stage one, but this one is really like, now if you want to start to make it, this is absolutely 1,000%, you have to do this, okay? And then so you can create two budgets. One is, what is a snapshot of now, and what is a snapshot of the future? What does that look like? Where are you saving? Where are you how much are you spending on luxuries? How much are you investing? How much is for education? How much is this? How much, like, thinking about what your dream life is going to be. And then you understand your patterns around spending and saving. So you're taking a look at these and saying, okay, where am I hemorrhaging money? Where am I spending money unnecessarily? And then you learn more about emergency funds, debt repayment, basic investing, getting these skills to start looking into, okay, how can I start to make my money work for me? Now, the inner work that you want to do is healing your relationship with money. What did you learn about money when you were growing up? What are you still carrying with you? And then you identify these self-limiting beliefs like, I'm just bad with money, money is stressful, all these negative feelings that you have around money that you can start to reframe and be like, I'm learning about money, or money um is a challenge, but I am smart enough to figure it out. And then you got to practice self-trust. You got to follow through on small financial goals, but be consistent. Keep the promises that you make to yourself. And this is where the emotional work starts to meet the practical work. You start to reclaim your power, right? Okay. Then this final stage, it's where you're thriving. It's where you're building wealth and living fully. And you've got some breathing room, you're saving, you're investing, you feel like you're finally living, not just surviving. Now it's time to dream bigger and get more intentional about the life you're creating. So here's a mindset shift that you want to have at this point is, I am the architect of my future. Abundance is my new baseline. And you're no longer afraid of falling back. Now you're focused on expanding forward. And some of the skills that you should be developing are strategic investing, retirement, passive income, diversified portfolio, tax optimization. These are things that you would start talking to professionals about. Because let me tell you, that ain't me. So don't ask me for fucking advice. And building multiple income streams. And then this is the fun budget that you get to do. It's your dream budget. It is designing your ideal life by working backwards and saying, you know what? I want to take 3 trips a year. I want to invest this much. I want to be making this much. I want to be retiring by this. So I need to invest this much. I need to do this. And you start coming up with this dream budget. And then you can start to see, okay, where are you now versus what is the difference between where you want to be? And then you can start working towards creating new ways to cover that gap. Or maybe you even recognize that, hey, I'm actually living my dream life now. So the inner work that needs to happen is identity evolution, letting go of the person who had to fight for scraps, letting go of that person who had to scrimp and save and coupon, or, couponing is not so bad. I'm going to say that, okay? Or creating joy without guilt, buying yourself something nice and not feeling like, oh my God, I'm going to like go broke because of this. And then aligning your money with your values, giving, enjoying, and growing. I love giving. I love seeing my money grow. I love seeing the impact that money can have. And I love creating it. I love doing things that create more money so that I can be more generous, because that's just the part of my nature that, money really helps me with, is that I can be generous with it. And so through it all, the power of inner and outer skill development, like I talked about in my last episode, at every stage, you need to hone both of these skills so that you can really start to have a fulfilling financial lifestyle, right? So you're learning about, the how-tos, the tools and the strategies, but you're also identifying your beliefs and you're emotionally regulating yourself throughout these ones. Getting your money right is never just about numbers. It's about who you're becoming as you learn to manage your money and embody abundance, okay? It's not just about earning more, it's about becoming more. Just like I said at the beginning of the fucking podcast, y'all. Okay? So that's it for me today. I hope you guys got some good information out of this. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you thought. Okay. Love you guys. Bye.